At this stage, I am tempted to say that whenever the coalition seems to have a progressive headway, then one unfortunate incident, befall them. And I am convinced that Tinubu has an hand in everything that happens in the coalition camp. Defeating this man is not going to be an easy job, guys. But you know what is breaking my heart right now? I haven't seen how Tinubu has disarmed the North. He has actually broken their teeth. Their sharp political teeth and tongue, Tinubu has actually cut it to size. And the only man who will seemingly restore the whole glory of the Northern political relevance, which is OB in my own situation, right now, the Northerners are saying no reasonable person will support Peter Obi. That it doesn't matter if you take Peter Obi to the Okija shrine or to his father's grave, that they don't trust him. I have about 8 minutes audio record that you will listen to. However, before I do that, let's continue with our analysis. You see, Elrufai, which happens to be one of the very vocal voice in the coalition, has suffered a 30 years political paralysis. What do I mean by 30 years political paralysis? SDP. SDP is being led by Adebayo. Adebayo, which I believe, and it is commonly said, is being funded by Tinubu. That lawyer who is based in America, who came back and ran in the last election. Ever since Elrufai got to SDP, he was the one shouting that Elrufai cannot be here. He has been the one that Tinubu allegedly has been using in SDP, and as we have it now, Elrufai has gotten 30 years ban. When you had that his political, CV, and you look at his political trajectory, and let's say his scorecard, Elrufai has been banned. And we know how important, how pivotal, and how pillar Elrufai is in the coalition. The remaining people that Tinubu has set a plan for is for them to work, in something they call political anti-party activities. And this is why I'm saying that Obi must be very careful, because I know Tinubu would want the next person or the next target Tinubu want to go is finding the perfect time to disarm, because they will take that matter to court and they will win. How do you want to win these people? How do you want to win them? Obi has never lost a case in court. Wike, Tinubu has not, according to my research and findings, he has equally not lost a case in court. So you see the issue here. It is just clear to us. We are looking at it that Tinubu should be accused and should be suspected for every confusion going on in every coalition group. And that's why I said it's only the people. If the people said they have had enough, and the people rise up, and when I'm talking about the people, I am talking about the middle belt. Okay, and let me quickly apologize to my middle beltern brothers and reviewers. When I'm talking about the north, I mean specifically the core north. I know the middle belt is not north, right? But because of the Fulani gimmicks and their schemes, they have, added you guys to the north, because that place on the map it says middle belt, or it says the central Nigeria. It's as simple as that. However, because we are part of the middle belt, we have some parts that is in southwest, some parts falls into southeast. But because for their own political games, they wrote north central. Yeah, so sorry about that. Now, going back to our conversation, you see, this Tinubu, is his defeat only rely and be possible when the Nigerian people, and the Nigerian people in this context are the Southerners, when the Yorubas, the Igbos, and the Middle Belt, when they agree that they want to leave and they want him to be kicked out. Only the Northerners cannot. They cannot. You see, the Northerners now, they feel that if they bring Jonathan, maybe some of us who have always had sentiment for Jonathan will just put aside Obi and then follow Jonathan in an extent to kick out Tinubu. Well, to be fair, some people will do that, right? But again, it will only rely on Obi's decision to step down. Okay? If not brings us Jonathan today, yes, the permutation fits perfectly for Jonathan because he has run for 4 years. And what do we have? He is the perfect fit. He's not an Igbo man that did not find hard to believe and trust. He's from the southern, he's a minority. He would not even be able to do anything otherwise than what they not tell him. And he's a perfect stooge for them. Yes, he's a perfect match for the north. And yes, some southerner will look at him, most especially the South Southerners, they will look at him and follow him. But the Southwest will be skeptical because they will rather say, okay, why is an OB who looks smarter, talks smarter, and is even what? More current and more updated, more ready, more mentally ready. Why would he not be supported? Okay, but yeah, unless Obi says, okay, I will step down and I will support my Oga, then maybe Jonathan will be able to defeat Tinubu. Otherwise, Jonathan will not be able. He won't be able to defeat him. That's just the truth. And that's the clear truth. He will not be able to defeat Tinubu. Okay? And all these things, I am beginning to suspect. Almost see. Ah, God. Tinubu, no, hey, I'm not hyping him. Because I've seen some people telling me I'm happy. I am not hyping him. If Obi continues to say he's still in Labour Party, and then Obi continues to attend ADC, tomorrow, Tuesday, there will be an ADC NEC meeting, National Executive Council meetings. Elrufai will be there. Don't forget, Elrufai has just suffered a 30 years ban in SDP. He has been sacked, disgraced. Now, don't you think the same fate can befall Peter Obi? We all know that Abure is with Wike. We saw the picture, didn't we? We saw it. We saw Abure with Wike. And Obi has said, well, I am still in Labour Party. But when Obi now continues to attend ADC meetings, because Obi will have to. If he doesn't attend, what if they take decisions that doesn't, align with him, that does not suit him, that does not favor him? Then Obi will either have to align with ADC because Abure will be funded. It has been tested. It is in the report. So many allegations out there. We saw the picture with Wike. So I am afraid ahead of time that if Obi continues to attend the ADC meetings, and don't forget that Abure has come out to warn Obi that you cannot chase two rats. You are either cold or hot. That was when we had the issue of Dati Baba Ahmed saying that he is here to settle matters and his own aspiration for presidency is still out there. And we know how Dati Baba Ahmed also called Obi that Obi needs to come back, that the coalition is not for his own benefit, blah, 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 blah. We all know this. We know this. So the plan is, Elrufai fell into that trap and then he caught him. Now the plan is, will Obi attend one or two meetings? If he does, if Abure sacks Obi, that means Obi has no any other option to either go to PDP or he goes to ADC. You can see how Tinubu is disarming the North. He's disarming them, forcing Obi also into a place whereby it is a tight corner. He knows that the North will be disarmed because the North's weakness is they don't trust the Igbos. And Obi attending the ADC will seem like an anti-party, which is what Abure might be paid for. Abure might receive 10 billion. I mean, these are just probabilities. I'm not saying he has received it. He might receive it. But don't be surprised if in the next few months, as long as this ADC, they remain inconsistent, they remain indecisive, they don't want to come out and tell us that, okay, maybe we want to have a consensus and it is Obi we are supporting. Because Obi himself does not want to put his eggs in one basket. And by extension, Obi is exposing himself from being sacked from Labour Party. And when it's sacked, Obi will have to either go into ADC or go into PDP. And we know what PDP is. But PDP is in the hands and under the grip of some Wike. We know this. All those conversations that did not have, that the PDP organ and lie. Who is funding PDP today? Is it Makinde? Is it Shey Makinde? May the rest. They don't fit the wine us. They don't fit the wine us. We know the games. We know the game. So we must be careful as a position as a Nigerian people, because everything is aligning. It is aligning in favor of Tinubu. I am saying my whole answer in 2027. Me, I don't want to cry and wail. Me, I'm not going to be part of the wailers. I've opened my mind. I don't dey look am. I open paper. I dey draft am. See wetin go happen. Why are the North now shouting Jonathan? When the North are supposed to be shouting Peter Obi? Why is Tinubu all of a sudden being the one who is benefiting from the paralysis Elrufai just suffered in SDP? Elrufai was sacked simply because he has been attending ADC meetings, and they sacked him for trying to manipulate the party, for carrying out anti-party activities. Can the same thing not be said of Peter Obi? Because Peter Obi is not the owner of the Labour Party. In fact, Labour Party can sabotage Peter Obi by just simply ejecting him. We know this is possible. The man who might speak for Peter Obi in Labour Party, Alex Oti, we know whose side is on. Wahala deo. Well, let's listen to that audio that I said. The North, right now, they are simply begging for Jonathan to return as ahead of Peter Obi.
Fresh Satana? Or do you think they will look for a Satana who just has only one term left by law and by constitution, that when he's done, he will leave power? Because these two men, the incumbent, has only just one term left, right? And aside that, if they will still have this trust on a fresh Satana, it's good and fine. Because the only thing I concur with Deji at every time is, it doesn't matter who we are flying or we are flagging to get to that place, provided this man is out of power, right? I agree with Deji. You understand? Even if at the end of the day, tomorrow now, the mantle now fall on Atiku, right? Like it is Atiku, that is who they want. And everybody in this coalition now say, okay, we will let go of maybe our own ambition. We'll drop our ego. We have only one goal. Let's back him or let's support him. I think it is necessary for everybody to say, if actually they want this man to go, let's back Atiku. I'm saying quote and unquote. But as I speak to you right now, the only thing in the mind of these men, they want power to remain in the South so that this misarrangement, because it all started, if you take it back far back, was when we lost our dearly beloved president, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. That was when this whole calculation actually kind of get mixed up. You understand? So I don't think, for me, that they are looking for another mix-up now, saying they want to bring in another, Northerner to take over power from, Tinubu. For me, I don't see it in that direction. But if it's what they are actually looking at, and everybody will be ready to support, to say, okay, we have one goal, we have one aim, we need to achieve this, it's fine. We understand. But what I'm saying so far is that in the coming days, Deji, don't take my word for it. In the coming days, in the coming weeks, because not everything person like you see with your eyes or you hear with your, from phone calls and everything that you just want to come and say. You let people, you play the guessing game, you play the long game, let your opponent or your incumbent, let them, to be confused. But in the coming days, you are going to see it. Don't take my word for it. You are going to see it, that even us in the south will not be able to match the energy that these people will be campaigning and clamoring for GEJ. You understand? And when that happens, I will not see if GEJ will not hearken to that voice, or he will not say, okay, it is time for me to come into the arena and fight it out one more dance. So that's what I'm trying to say. There's no
Yeah,
malice.
I mean, because
Anybody
I've
that comes,
actually heard people say that GJ is not the typical opposition candidate. He, even just the last thing we heard him say about the president wasn't entirely critical. It was just, he was talking about the rivers issue, and it wasn't. It was more or less still trying to be diplomatic with his responses. So people are like, can this man really, really, drive opposition narrative? The way it ought to be. But then I guess we'll wait to see. Like I
yeah, we'll
always
have
tell
to
you,
wait. We'll have to wait. Yeah, we'll have to wait to see that. And mind you, right? Opposition tends to thrive more when everybody now falls under one umbrella of a political party. Now, Deji, what am I trying to say? When people were doing this thing kind of individually, it wasn't really going far. But you see, since the time this what's this man's name now? Is it Bolaji? Since the time this man has been going like as a party now, like okay, this is not the coalition party, for example, quote and unquote. Since this man has been going ballistic back to back, do you see that there's a little changes now? So it's not just about individual issuing statement, it's about a group of or a political party, coming out to issue a statement on behalf of everybody. You understand? It carries more weight. So I don't really think maybe individual doing this, doing
So
that is
sorry,
actually the
host.
main thing for.
I'm very sorry. I just want to ask Osaru a question, and it's a follow up to what Deji asked, and it's the question of, do you think that JEJ can outrightly condemn this government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, considering that his wife has said, "My sister, Pepe, I will campaign side by side with my sister." Do you think that JEJ, because it's enough for you to say that Bolaji Abdullah is doing his job as ADC. Now I'm saying, when the chips are down, when it's time for you to campaign, you have to go at this government, hit the government on his head. Do you think that JEJ has it in him to do that?
Okay, to just answer you straight up, I wouldn't put it past him if he would do it or not. I wouldn't put it past him. You might be surprised, it will just be a rebranded and a renewed GJ if he accepts to run. That's all I would say. Thank you.
So his temperament can change if when he accepts, and he will be more, direct and forceful, and opposition tone. We'll see. Thank you, Osaro. Like I said, as far as you know, if GJ ends up being the person, as far as everybody supports him, and we press on against Tinubu and send Tinubu out, my brother, I'm all for it. I At this point, I'm that desperate. A lot of people were shedding tears for my conviction the other day. They're like, how can a young man so full of potential lack principles? I'm like, it's not my fault. It's Tinubu's fault.
Bro, Deji, if they ask you, sorry, Deji, if they say you lack principle, now ask them which of these politicians so far does not lack principle by going by what they have said before in the past. We have seen some people, who said they will never go to this line. They have not gone back to that same, typical old ways. Am I right or wrong? We are seeing it. So if they see you like you that is not a typical politician per se, you are now seeing it in the angle of this politics, man. It's not a morality sport. Everybody just have to compromise. But in compromising, you set standard. That's what I want every young Nigerian to, the mindset I want them to carry. When compromising, try and still set standard. You understand? So there's nobody in politics that does not compromise. You understand? Because whether you like it or not, you cannot win this thing on your own. You understand? That's the situation we found ourselves. And the last time we went out to vote, the question was asked, can you defend our votes? Right? But in the end, what happened? So, my brother, who get mad? Now, mad it talk. No, don't let it get to you, I beg.
Yes, thank you very much, Osaro. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm desperate. I need this guy out because I can see a future, a second term of Tinubu, and guy.